This is a brief video about the history of railways and rail travel here in Finland. In January, or now in March, 150 years came to pass since the first railway was opened in Finland from the Finnish capital Helsinki to the southern Finnish interior city of Hämeenlinna, some 100 kilometers or 62 miles if you prefer. The trip then took 4.5 hours. Now it takes, depending on the speed of the train, between 1 hour and 1 hour and 15 minutes. Yes, it began on the history of rail transport in Finland began indeed on January the 31st, 1862. In 1870, a second major railway line was opened that stretched from the southern Finnish city of Riihimäki to the Russian capital of that time, St. Petersburg. Then were built, for example, the railways between Hanko, Finland's southernmost city and Finland's leading import harbor. That was opened in 1873. A shorter railway in the historical province of Uusimaa, whose capital is Helsinki, between Porvoo and Kerava in 1874. Then a rail line between the largest western Finnish city Tampere and the largest southwestern Finnish city Turku in 1876. And then by 1886, a railway had been completed from Tampere to the western Finnish coastal city of Vaasa. And by 1900, the railway stretched to Raahe and Oulu in northern Finland. In 1889, 1890 and 1902, railways were built in southeastern and eastern Finland, joining the cities of, or connecting the cities of Kouvola, Kotka, Mikkeli, Pieksämäki and Kuopio. The first Karelian railway between Viipuri, now called Viborg, it has belonged to the Russians continuously since 1944. That was completed by 1895. Then the cities of Tampere and Pori were connected in 1895 and 1899. The city of Rauma on the southwestern Finnish coast was connected in 1897 and 1914 between some smaller cities or towns in the historical province of Satakunta. Then Haapamäki, which is located, I think, currently in central Finland. Back then it was located in northern Tavastia or northern Pirkanmaa. It was connected by railway to Jyväskylä, central Finland's capital, in 1897. Then in 1899 and 1903, railways were built along the Finnish southern coast. The railway network was quite extensive in Finland during the Finnish Civil War in 1918. In the 1920s and 30s, it was expanded in northern Finland, in Karelia, also between the eastern Finnish city of Iisalmi and the northern Ostrobothnian city of Ylivieska, and then the town or village of Kontiomäki, meaning Bear Hill, in the historical province of Kainuu was connected to Oulu by a railway in 1930. Outokumpu, which used to be the site of one of Finland's largest mines, was connected to Joensuu in 1928, and the Vuokatti, a town in Kainuu, was connected to Nurmes in 1929. Outokumpu, Joensuu and Nurmes are located in northern Karelia. Railways were built densely in the Karelian Isthmus for strategic purposes. Finland had to send quite many trains to the Soviet Union from 1944 to 1952 as a major part of the war reparations payments. And in recent decades, rail connections have been improved, for example, between Turku and Helsinki. In the 21st century, a railway line has been built between the Uusimaa city of Kerava and the Päijänne-Tavastia city of Lahti, which clearly has shortened the rail travel time between Helsinki and Lahti. The first steam locomotives in Finland were imported from the Canada Works in Birkenhead, Britain. The first Finnish locomotive was built in 1874, and starting in the 1960s, electric trains were built in Finland, and in the 1990s and 2000s, Pendolino and other fast trains, especially fast trains, have begun to operate in Finland. Railway is still a major mode of transport in Finland, competing with the private cars and buses and airplanes, and some cargo still is transported along the Finnish railways. The Finnish state railways will get a private competitor in the freight railway transport in 2013. In recent years, the Finnish state railways have been plagued by cuts to their budgets and electronic and other logistical problems. For example, during the snowy and cold winters of 2010 and 2011, several state railway trains were late, causing latenesses to work and to schools to various passengers.